Happiness is your birthright. Keys to stress reduction for entrepreneurs and professionals. Kimberly Palm is an internationally known stress reduction and health expert, corporate trainer, motivational speaker, spiritual teacher, and best selling author. With over 3 decades of researching, consulting, teaching, and speaking experience, Kimberly works with individuals, businesses, and organizations and teaches you important skills, tools, and information to reduce and manage your stress, improve happiness, health, relationships, and lives, and have success in your career or business and create peace. I love it. She is the founder and creator of the Corporate Peace Project Quantum Time Management Program and the Peace Stress Management System. Her best-selling book, Conquering Stress, The Real Fountain of Youth, has been called the most comprehensive stress program in the world by physicians and experts. Kimberly works with people all over the world through workshops, seminars, retreats, speaking engagements, keynotes, private consulting for individuals, webinars, seminars, books, and audio programs. You can find out more about her or book a consultation at www.kimpalm.com. Kim, are you ready to rock the house? Awesome, awesome. So I'm bringing you on right now. You are now live. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to deliver massive value to our audience. We're going to have a lot of
Sure,
fun.
sure. Looking
Awesome,
forward to
awesome.
this.
Yes, 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 yes. So why don't you share a little bit about yourself and the journey that you've gone through to get where you are today? Maybe some of the challenges that you've experienced, some of the lessons you've learned along the way so our audience can get connected with you.
Right. Well, I know a lot of you out there. Chris said he thinks 80% of you are entrepreneurs and business owners. And just right off the get-go here, I want to let you know that I've owned 8 different businesses, small businesses myself that I've owned and operated. I was actually a Chamber of Commerce membership director, so I had the, let's just say, the honor of being able to teach people how to start and run businesses for a long time. I also was a small business marketing consultant for many years. But just to tell you my story, first of all, I was born into a very poor family. And my parents struggled and actually died broke. They died totally broke. And had to put myself through college with no loans, no grants, no scholarships, nothing, just me working and going to school full time because I didn't want to wind up like my parents. And my mother, who is a very spiritual person, always told me 2 things. First of all, if you do what you love to do for a living, if you have a career doing something you really, really love, then you will excel at it. You will be super successful. And she totally loved what she did, and she died doing it. She knew she was going to die doing it. And even though they didn't have a lot of money, she was really happy doing what she did. The second lesson she taught me was you can do anything you put your mind to. So whatever I want and focus on, and that was many years ago. We're talking many decades ago, before there was law of attraction and manifestation and all that. She was already kind of teaching me the basics of manifesting when I was a kid. But just a little about me is I was born with some really interesting abilities. I'm an intuitive. I channel information. People say, who are you channeling? I'm channeling source or creator or God or Jehovah or whatever you want to call it. That's what I channel. Very intuitive. I'm empathic. And I've been helping people since I was a child. I've always been ministering to people and counseling people and helping people with their life issues, their health issues, since I was a small girl because of my empathic and intuitive abilities. And what happened to me is I got a marketing degree. I went into the stress-filled corporate environment. I did that for many years. I quit that, had babies, and started my own businesses. And 31 years ago, I was misdiagnosed by a physician. And that's when I had my big aha moment, which is that doctors don't have all the answers. They don't know everything. And if you want to empower yourself to take care of your own health, that is how you're going to live long, live happy and healthy, and survive on this planet. Because over the years, I've been misdiagnosed over and over and over again. I've had doctors shake their head at me and say, we don't know what's wrong with you. I had one health problem where I had 8 doctors, and I'm not kidding you. I had 8 different doctors I went to who put me through every test known to man. They still couldn't diagnose me. I had to go away each time and research and research and research and figure out how to cure myself, how to heal myself. And I've studied for 38 years now. I've studied everything from spirituality and metaphysics and meditation and all that type of thing to world religion, self-healing, energy healing, quantum mechanics and quantum physics, alternative medicine, Reiki, naturopathy, chiropractic. I've studied pretty much everything from shamanism to you name it, anything that had to do with healing the body, mind, and spirit. And 8 years ago, I was woke up at 3 in the morning with what I call the creator telling me that my purpose on earth is to help other people to be happy and healthy. And so I'm here today to tell you, because I've been doing just this for the last actually almost 7 years now. I'm here to tell you that your true purpose on earth is not to be a marketing guru or not to be a counselor or coach. Your true purpose, your birthright, is happiness and health. That's it, just to be happy. And so that's what I'm here on Chris's show talking to you guys about today. But I'm basically an international stress reduction expert and health and life consultant. I'm not a coach. I'm a teacher. I'm a spiritual teacher. I teach you things that your parents and your schools didn't teach you that you need to know to be happy the rest of your life and to be healthy the rest of your life. And that's what I do. And I did it because I learned how to do that for myself. And I'm kind of like a living example of what I teach. I teach the Fountain of Youth, and I walk and talk and live the Fountain of Youth. So I think that's about it in a nutshell, Chris, unless you have any other questions.
No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love it. So how did you, was it, you said you channeled Source, and that's kind of like what awoke this mission within you to teach
Yeah.
people about happiness and
Yes.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so I'm a really spiritual person. I've been really, really connected to God since I was a small child. I read the Bible cover to cover when I was 4.
Wow.
I was reading when I was 2 or 3. And I read the Bible cover to cover when I was 4, and nobody gave it to me. My parents were not really into religion that big. I took my mother's Bible on my own, and I sit and read it cover to cover. And I've just always had a really strong connection to God. And everything I do every day of my life is led 100% by Source, Spirit, Creator, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
That is how I'm led. And it's all about love, kindness, compassion, forgiveness, and just being a nice person.
Wow. And so has it been a difficult journey, would you say, to get here? Or would you say, I mean, was there any super traumatic events, or is it just
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, definitely. Over my life, I've had all kinds of traumatic events, but what really got me into becoming a healer and teacher now and not doing what I used to be doing, which was a marketing guru, was because my mom and dad both passed away about 10, 11 years ago. And my only sibling got locked away in a mental hospital. And right before that, my 2 grandmothers passed away, basically all in one swoop. I lost my entire family, except for, and when I say family, I mean my blood family, before I had children. So now my only family is my husband and my 2 kids, basically, because everybody's gone. But that was extremely traumatic for me. And I actually had a small nervous breakdown, and I had to heal myself. It took me a long time to heal myself. And I started having anxiety, which I didn't even know what that was all about. I was having anxiety and all kinds of stuff, and I had to go and learn how to heal that. And so it's been a bumpy road. And then running businesses, I've had 8 businesses, and I got to tell you, being an entrepreneur and being a small business owner has got to be the most stressful job on the planet, because as a mom, I've had to juggle having a business and my kids. So you're like this little balance thing, juggle, 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 juggle. Yeah. And so it's an up and down, kind of thing. And it's all about perseverance and keeping your eye on the bird, which is whatever your goal is, and just keep pushing forward. But one thing about me is I'm an overcomer. I've overcome, I'm not even going to go into my whole life story of all the things I've had to overcome, because it would it would take hours. But let's just say that I've had a very complicated, challenging life. And I just I overcome, and I just keep moving forward.
Yeah, you keep your eye on the prize, eye on the bird. I love that. Never
Yes.
heard eye on the bird before. That's awesome. Awesome. So you also mentioned that you have a best-selling book. How did that happen, and how did that unfold?
Oh, thank you for asking that.
Yeah.
Because that was another one of I call it my downloads. I get downloads from source or creator where I'm told, here's what you're going to do next on the planet to serve the humans. And so basically at 3:33 in the morning, I was woken up 6 years ago, and I'd already been coaching people in stress management and healing and all these things. And God said, I want you to take your program to the four corners of the earth. And that was how it was put to me. And I said, okay, well, I have no intention or plan on traveling to the Middle East, or Africa or Asia or those places. I'm not going to go there. Sorry. And not because I'm a racist, because I totally am not. I have friends of every color, every nationality. I have a lot of allergies, and food allergies in particular. And that part of the world, I cannot eat the food because I will get very sick. So I'm not going to go there because I don't want to go and get sick. So I said to God, I said, okay, how do I take my program to the four corners of the earth? He said, you silly child, you're going to put it into a book. And I never ever thought I'd write a book in my entire life. I had no intention, no wish to write a book, never ever fathomed writing a book. And so what happened is from that point forward, I was just getting pages and pages and pages of notes that were being just given to me of all this information. And then I said to God, I said, one day I said, all of this information is great, but if I take all this channeled information and put it in a book, I'm going to be crucified like your son, because people are going to go, oh, what a bunch of hucky pucky. You channeled that. Ooh, it sounds kind of woo woo. So what God said is, okay, well, everything that I gave you can be 100% verified through scientific research. He said, so much so that every doctor will be bowing to you. So I went and I did a whole year of research, and everything that's in my book, for the most part, with the exception of things like I have a chapter on how to be happy. There's not really a ton of research on that. That's more experiential. So if I'm teaching you how to be happy, I mean, I can tout a few reports on it, but I can't, but I spent a year. And as a result, when I finally finished my book and launched it in January 2016, I had close to 100 physicians, medical doctors, chiropractors, naturopaths, and other health practitioners who read my book and wrote mind-blowing reviews. And every one of them said it was the most comprehensive stress guide they had ever seen in their life. And they even said I should rename it the Stress Bible, which is kind of funny because I love the Bible, but they told me I should rename my book the Stress Bible, which I'm not going to do that. But it makes me feel really happy to know that not only is this information, yeah, it's not only is this information given to me from source, but it's validated to the point where I have allopathic MDs who, some of them don't even believe in God. Like a lot of them that read my book don't even believe in God. And they read my book and they said, wow, this book is amazing. So that makes my heart feel very happy.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. So sounds like it was a big success for you, and not so much a planned success, but something that just naturally unfolded. You were called to do it, and obviously added to your credibility. The doctors and people who look at the scientific side of it, they're like, this is gold. I love that. I love that.
Yep. And, some of the information that went into my 31 years of researching health and wellness and healing and, anti-aging. I'm totally a nut about anti-aging. I've had people tell me I look between 28 and 32 usually is what I get. And when I tell them my real age, some people have almost like fainted, like almost fallen over because they think I'm a vampire.
That's so funny. So it's obvious that you've used some great used some great tools and resources and techniques. So I'm sure you have some that you're going to be sharing with our audience today about
Yes.
stress reduction, especially for
Yes.
entrepreneurs and professionals. So let's start diving into that whole world of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do
So
you want to know?
so specifically, like what do we need to know? Like how do we reverse the aging process? How do we reverse stress? Like what do we need to know about stress? Because I know you mentioned that it's not just, hey, when you're afraid of things or anxious, that's what causes
Right.
stress, but there's a lot of different stuff that causes stress. So I think people need to know
Right.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of misconceptions in the planet. You are right
Mhm.
that stress is like emotional stress. I'm worried, I'm fearful, I'm scared, I'm anxious, I am depressed. Yes, that is a type of stress. But what God showed me when I had this whole thing unloaded was that there's what we call a 2,000-piece stress puzzle. I have a picture of it in my book. And what that means is there's thousands of different types of stress. And what God's definition of stress is anything that negatively or impacts or harms your body, your mind, or your energy body, which some people refer to as your spirit, but we're all energy. We're all energy, frequency, and vibration. In fact, everything, according to quantum physics, which is not woo-woo, this is a science, it's been around 200 years, everything, all matter, everything is all energy, frequency, and vibration. It cannot be created nor destroyed. So it just gets transmuted or changed around or whatever. But the fact of the matter is stress affects your body, your brain, and your energy body. And the stresses can be anything from a nasty mother-in-law to fluorescent lighting in your workplace, spending screen time right before bedtime, so like staring at the blue light on your computer before bedtime totally messes up your sleep. I have a whole chapter on sleep in my
Mm.
book on how to sleep 8 hours. And the how do I want to put it? There's so many thousands of types of stress. There's stress in crowded places. You're being stressed out when you're driving on the freeway. You're being stressed out when you're eating at McDonald's. You're being stressed out when you're eating additives, preservatives, chemicals, chemtrails that are being sprayed on our heads. That's stressing us out. Fluoride poured into the water. All of these different things that harm your body, mind, and spirit. So it could be stuff you're putting in your mouth. It could be drugs, alcohol, tobacco, smoking, anything. And then on top of it, you got emotional. So my program, my book is actually an introduction to my program, which is the Peace Stress Management System. Sorry about that. There's a phone ringing in the background. But the Peace stands for physical, emotional, chemical, and environmental stress. And believe it or not, I'm getting one of those spam calls. It's like a robo-dialer right now.
Right.
Then that will stress you out. Not me, but other people get stressed by sales calls.
Yeah.
So trying to let it pass. Okay, thank you. Shut up, phone now. Okay. So my program is a peace system. So it's physical stress, emotional stress, chemical, and environmental stress. So physical, of course, is any kind of stress that hurts your body, from having chronic pain, accidents, injuries, to eating bad food, not exercise, lack of exercise. And believe it or not, Chris, some people don't understand that over exercising is actually stressful too. So there's what you call a balance or a happy medium. You need to get exercise, but it needs to be balanced exercise, not too much, not too little, just right. Kind of like Papa Bear, Mama Bear, Baby Bear.
Yeah.
And then your environmental stress is going to be, your stress in the workplace, or stress at home, or stress at the mall. Any environment where you find yourself, it could be at an airport, it could be at Disneyland, but wherever you are, the things that are going on around you that create stress for you, whether it's physical or mental, that's environmental stress. And we all know what chemicals and toxins are. They're all around us. And then emotional stress is actually 4 different types of emotional stress. People don't understand this, but there's conscious emotional stress. That's stuff we know, like I'm worrying. I know I'm worrying. So that's conscious. But then there's subconscious. Subconscious are those little tapes playing in the background of your mind that you're not good enough, or you'll never make enough money, or you have to work hard to make a living, or that money doesn't grow on trees. These belief systems and these things that your parents, your grandparents, whoever put in your head when you were a little kid or a baby, and they're playing in little tapes in the background, but you have no idea, that it's there. So that's subconscious. Then we have what we call past life emotional stress. And for those of you who don't know, there's millions of people all over the world who have been put under hypnosis, or they have memories of past lifetimes. The Hindu and I think Buddhist religion totally follow this practice of past lives. And you can pick up stress in a past life from an event that happens, like maybe you were murdered or raped, and you can carry it forward into life after life after life until you clear that out. So you've got that. And I can testify to this because I had a health condition that could not be healed. And when I got put under hypnosis, I found out that my health problem was being caused by a past life issue. And that's why no doctor in the world could cure me, because it wasn't something doctors could deal with. It was something on a what we call a spiritual level. So when you have things on a spiritual level, you need to learn other ways to deal that. And then the last part of the emotional stress is inherited emotional stress. And for those of you who know or don't know, Dr. Bruce H. Lipton, who's the top cellular biologist on the planet and a friend of mine, he wrote the book Biology of Belief. He basically, I shouldn't say he's a friend. He's not a close personal friend. He's a Facebook friend, and I've met him in person, but I keep in touch with him on social media. But he's an amazing man. He basically said after 15 years of research into epigenetics or genetics that first of all, you inherit stress from your parents and your ancestors through your DNA. And when you get a gene, you're going to love this, Chris, but when you inherit a gene for, let's say, diabetes or cancer or, breast cancer, for example, the fact that you inherited that gene doesn't determine your life or how long you're going to live or if you're even going to get that disease. What determines it is stress, because the gene has a switch on it, like a light switch that goes on and off. So if you inherited a breast cancer gene and you're really stressed out, then the switch goes on and you get breast cancer. But if you inherit a cancer gene and you are a happy person and you eat really good and you take care of your body and you're really positive, and you manage stress, of course, then you're probably never going to get that breast cancer. So you can't allow your genetics to determine your life and your happiness and all of that. So that is what he discovered. So I cover all these in the book. And so people need to know when they're dealing with stress, if they really, truly want to live what I call the fountain of youth, the real fountain of youth, live to be a ripe old age of whatever you determine, 90, 100, 130, whatever that is. You have to have all of your ducks in a row. So you have to take care of your body and eat good and do all these things, exercise. You have to get rid of chemicals and toxins. You need to detox. You need to do prevention and protection. You need to detox your brain. You need to reprogram your thoughts from negative to positive, which is what I do with my clients, amongst a million other things that I do with my clients. And you need to learn how to manage your environment around you. And that's basically, I guess, in a nutshell, what that is.
Awesome. And I heard that stress is it's something that we can manage. It's not something that we have to be a victim to. It's not something that we're powerless over. And especially for the conditions that, let's say, we were born with in genes that we might have felt like, oh, I'm doomed forever.
Right.
A lot of that won't be activated if we choose the right thoughts and engage in the right practices of that fountain of youth and of stress reduction.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. So in terms of reducing stress at the deepest levels, is there something that we could be doing on a daily basis? Is it a routine or an analysis or reflection, some kind of thing to make sure that we're optimal?
Yes, there is. Well, so I started kind of sharing that with you. Number one is you have to eat a really good diet, because even if you get your brain straightened out, and you get your mind, let's say you just constantly are always positive and you really have low emotional stress. Okay, so you have low to no emotional stress. If you don't eat a really good diet and you don't drink 8 glasses of water or liquids a day that are non-caffeine liquids a day, Well, I shouldn't say that. I guess you can have a little caffeine, but caffeine does dehydrate you, so
Mm-hmm.
you got to watch out.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take care of your body and you exercise and you eat whole foods, you eat organic, you eat non-GMO, which is genetically modified, you eat just really healthy diet and mainly an anti-inflammatory diet, which I don't know if you know this, but inflammation is the root of most diseases. And then the main cause of most diseases, of course, is stress, but stress causes inflammation and bad food and all that causes inflammation. So you need to be eating an anti-inflammatory diet. That's the first thing. Second thing is you need to work on your thinking each day. You need to pay attention to your thoughts, because if you have negative thoughts, it's going to kill you with disease, because our thoughts are energy, just like our body and everything else is energy. And Chris, I don't know if you've heard this before, but negative thoughts account for 85% of most people's thinking, which is just horrific. Most people are thinking 85% of the time they're thinking negative thoughts. The other thing about that is they vibrate at a really low energy frequency, and they release cortisol, stress hormone, into the body like crazy, which is launching your fight or flight response. And yes, if you were running from a dinosaur right now, that would be amazing. You'd have all this adrenaline and you'd be running away from the dinosaur. But we're evolved way away from that now. So every time you're having a dinosaur runaway reaction, or fight or flight, you are just flooding your body with these hormones that are killing you. They are messing up your blood sugar, your hormones, your sex drive. A lot of people have sexual problems because of stress. They can't do stuff. And so basically reprogramming your mind every day. And what that is, believe it or not, it's so simple, Chris. All it is starting off with 5 minutes a day, then working your way up to more and more and more and more and more of paying attention to the thoughts you are thinking. And really, every time a negative thought comes into your little brain, you want it to go right back out again. You send it out, and then you counteract it with a positive, how do you want to say, like an opposite affirmation. Yep. So if a thought comes in that says, oh, I'm so worried about so-and-so, instead you say, nope, not going there. In your mind, you have a conversation with yourself and you say stop or something, you give yourself some kind of signal to stop thinking that. Mm-hmm. And then you reprogram it with a new thought, which is Peggy or whoever it is safe and protected. So, whether she is or not, that doesn't matter. It's the idea that you're thinking this thought, you're worrying about Peggy, and you're thinking, oh my God, Peggy's going to be in danger if she does blah, 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 blah. Well, that's releasing that fight or flight hormone into your body, that cortisol stress hormone. So paying attention to your thoughts each and every day and really refocusing and refocusing and refocusing on the positive, 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 accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. That's a song. That's actually a famous song. So that's really important. The third thing you need to do is with your emotions, is changing the way you perceive things, changing the way you look at the world, the way you look at everything. And, I guess one way to look at this is, let's say that my water heater in my garage, it breaks and the garage floor is flooded. And actually this happened to me. The garage floor is completely flooded with water. If you perceive that as a problem or an emergency or something else, you're releasing more of that hormone into your body and you're freaking out, you're, overanalyzing it, you're doing all this negative thinking. So what you need to do is change the way you perceive and the way you look at things, and look at everything through the eyes of a child, kind of like it's a new experience. You're a 2-year-old and everything is a new learning experience. So instead of thinking as problems, start thinking of every problem in your life as a learning experience. And I don't know if you've heard this, Chris, you're going to love this, but did you know that 95% of people's time is spent worrying about problems and only 5% of the time is spent dealing with the problems?
Wow.
95% is worrying about problems. Wow. So if you change your attitude and you change your perception and you don't look at it as a problem, you look at it as a learning experience and you go, okay, well, what do I need to do to fix this? Now let's look at what do I need to do to fix this? And then what I tell people to do, and this is something that you can all do right this minute starting today, is any problems that you have today in your life, like I don't care if it's a relationship, your dog has to go to the vet, your mother-in-law is being a butthead. I don't really care what it is. What I want you to do is I want you to, first of all, stop calling it a problem. It's no longer a problem, okay? Because when you label something a problem, it makes it a catastrophe. It makes it really, how do you want to say, dramatic.
Yes.
It's really dramatic. You're creating a lot of drama, and you're creating kind of a victim kind of a persona, and you don't want to be a victim. So you say, I'm a student, I'm a 2-year-old student, and I'm in this classroom of life, and I'm learning, and everything is just all learning experiences. So what you want to do is you want to change your viewpoint from problem to learning experience. And the next thing you're going to do is refocus your attention. Instead of spending 95% of your day worrying about this mother-in-law or worrying about your dog going to the vet, what I want you to do is write it down on a piece of paper. So take out any piece of paper that you have. And if you have to have 5 different columns with 5 problems, then put the problem at the top, and don't call it a problem, call it learning experience. Number 1, learning experience. Number 2, whatever it is. And then in the column under that, I want you to write down action steps of what you need to do to fix this learning problem, or what do you need to do to make it go away. And then once you have it written down, you're going to start tackling each of the things on this sheet of paper, but as you're doing it, you're not going to be worrying about it or giving any kind of head wave to it. You're not going to be focusing on it. You're going to go about your day, and you're going to focus on everything that you do in your day, but not on that learning experience. When it's time for you to do the action steps, like let's say at 2 o'clock, you have to go meet with an attorney. So you look at your watch, it's 2 o'clock, I have to go meet with my attorney. Then you do what my next step is for stress management. And this is actually the most important step for every person listening to this, Facebook video right now. Mindfulness, present moment awareness, being present in the moment. Throughout your day, you focus on now, what's happening right now. Right now, I'm having a great talk with Chris Burns.
Yeah.
So you focus on that. So I'm not thinking about all the 50 things I have to do today. I know that I have 50 things to do, but I have them written down with the task management protocol. So I have all these things written down, and I will get to these things when I get to them, and then I will think about them as I am doing each step on that scale. So let's say I'm eating an apple. You're going to pick up your apple. You're going to focus on the color of the apple, the smell of the apple. You're going to get out of your brain, because what all of you entrepreneurial people and professionals and everybody watching this video right now, what you are doing right now, what life bubbles popping up all over, you're living life, right? Mm-hmm. But you're worrying about that stuff. You're thinking about it. So how do you get out of your head, and how do you make it all balanced and get grounded and peaceful? Is you get into your senses of feeling, touch, taste, sound, smell. And that is how you remain present or grounded. You ground yourself. So you're going to focus on an apple. You're going to focus on the smell, the flavor, the crunch in your mouth, the juiciness of the apple, the fragrance of the apple, the beautiful bright color. Maybe it's this beautiful bright red, which red is, by the way, the color of your root chakra, which is what grounds you to planet Earth, and it has to do with money and a whole bunch of other stuff. So if you're somebody with money stress over money, look at a red apple, because that will help. Wow. Color therapy, very powerful for stress. But the presence, the mindfulness throughout your day as you're dealing with these, what you call problems and what I call learning experiences, you go to your list, you do number 1, number 2, and you cross them off as you go, so you don't feel like you still have this giant list. A lot of people will make a list and they leave all the items on their list, and then every time they look at the list, they get stressed. They go, oh my God, there's 20 things on my list. Well, yeah, dude, that's because you didn't cross off number 5 through whatever, So cross them off as you go, so you feel accomplished and you feel good, and you can go, yay, celebrate, I did 5 things on my list. And as you're doing these things throughout your day, do not worry about them. Every time you get something that comes in your head, think of your head as like a factory or a warehouse. You've got inventory coming in, inventory going out, and you want to push that inventory out as fast as you can, or you're not going to make money. You're going to lose money. In fact, if you're an entrepreneur and you are stressed out, I can guarantee you are losing so much money in your business. because stress not only ruins your health, but it ruins your decision making, your ability to make money, your ability to spend and save money, your ability to make sound, grounded decisions. It affects all of that. So every business owner needs to learn stress management for that reason. So those are just some ideas. I can share more with you if you would like me to.
Yeah, absolutely. We're on a roll. I love them. I think this is very,
Yeah.
very valuable. And if you're out there in the audience and you're loving this, type in free. Type in FREE, free, because you're being free. You're becoming free of anything that hasn't been serving you. And we really deserve to be
Yes.
free and deserve to be happy, because
Yes.
happiness is your birthright. So go ahead and type in
It
free in
is.
the comment box right now. And Kimberly, keep it rolling. This is awesome.
Well, so going back to what you said about happiness as your birthright, so
Mhm.
let's look at the things that take away your happiness,
Yes.
because realistically, you should be happy every day.
Mhm.
So number one is you need, and Chris, it's the name of your show is I am having fun, right? You need to have fun every day. You
Yes.
need to spend a few minutes or an hour. I
Yes.
mean, I recommend taking 1 hour every day,
Yeah.
even if it's in the evening, even if it's at 10 o'clock at night,
Mm.
take an hour every day to do something that is fun and relaxing for you.
Mm.
Okay, so for me the other day, I went out in my backyard and I did some art photography of flowers
Mm.
because to me, unleashing my artistic skills is so relieving for stress and it's so much fun for me.
Mm.
So I went out in the backyard and I took pictures close up of bumblebees and the flowers and pictures of the flowers and the patterns in them. And I got the most amazing artistic photos, but the best part is I was having so much fun and it made me feel happy. And, stress takes away your happiness, it destroys it. Having bad relationships, money issues, career issues, business issues, health issues, of course. These all destroy your happiness, but the root cause of all of it is stress because of what I said. Stress is this 2,000 piece puzzle. So it's really important for you to focus on having a little bit of fun every day. Whether it's taking a bubble bath, going for a walk on the beach, having a beer with a friend. I love to go out and have a wine or a beer with a friend. So, these are the things that you need to do to not only relieve stress,
Mhm.
but to get your happiness back, recapture your happiness. And practicing mindfulness, like I said earlier, that is another way to cultivate happiness. That and practicing gratitude, being grateful for what you have. And if you're somebody who keeps a gratitude journal, I give you big kudos. You get 10 points for that. If you've never done it before, I highly recommend you consider keeping a gratitude journal or doing a gratitude prayer. I don't have time to write in a journal. So what I do is in the morning when I wake up, I start off the day with what I'm grateful for, for life, just for being alive and for the sun shining and whatever. And then I end my day going over all the things during the day that happened that I was grateful for. Like I was grateful that I spent time with my children and watched a silly cartoon this morning, which we did do. My kids were both home, so we sat and we watched a really goofy, silly cartoon, and I laughed so hard I almost peed my pants.
Oh my
And that's the best,
goodness.
yeah, and that's the kind of stress
That's
relief
awesome.
that you want is comedy, humor, fun, fun,
Yes.
fun. Looking at your life through a child's eyes, what we
Mm.
call getting in touch with your inner child. It is so important to do that inner child work. And the biggest way to do that is having some fun every day. The
Yeah.
only way you can feel like a child is take your kids and go build a sandcastle on the beach.
Mm.
Go fly a kite. It's springtime. This is a great time of year to go fly a kite. We had a really windy day yesterday.
Yeah.
Um,
I do.
that
I
kind of
want to
stuff.
add. I want to add something because I think a lot of people might be very self conscious about themselves, and something that's really helped me out is learning to laugh at myself and learning that like
Yes.
life isn't so serious. Don't take
Mhm.
ourselves so seriously. So
Yep.
making funny faces at the
Mhm.
mirror or in videos. I just did a photo shoot for some new modeling or like portrait pictures and
Mhm.
modeling pictures, which I'm getting into this past Saturday, and I was like making funny faces with the photographer, and she could not stop laughing. It was just so much fun, and I just felt so good. And after that, I was actually even more confident because I was able to be myself and just be okay with however I looked, making funny faces, just like having fun. And it was really just I was laughing and we were laughing and just like total just freedom and expansion. It felt so good. So This
Yes,
is
it
awesome.
does. It does feel good to laugh, and you
Mhm.
almost become addicted to it. I mean, you
Yes.
crave wanting to laugh. At least for me,
Yes.
I really crave laughter. Like it's something. It's almost like chocolate because I do have cravings for chocolate. I love
Yes.
chocolate,
Yes.
which relieves stress. By the way, it gives you endorphins and serotonin to your brain, so it's very good for relieving stress. But you can crave laughter the same way you crave chocolate because it really makes you feel light and fluffy and good and warm and fuzzy all over. It's just awesome.
Yeah, I also heard Steve Harvey say that, you can just laugh. You can just laugh for no reason, right? Just
Yeah.
laugh for no reason.
Mhm.
And I think the people who take themselves so seriously that they're like, well, I can't laugh without a reason, then you definitely need
Right.
to laugh for
Oh
no
yeah, those
reason.
people need to laugh more than ever actually. They're too
Yes.
serious. But I laugh at myself all the time. I do and say goofy things sometimes that I just look at myself and just go, "Oh my God, I'm so funny." No.
Yes.
It
Yes.
just yeah, it's a really good thing to just laugh, and they have classes here locally on laughter yoga. I think it got started in India by an Indian
Wow.
Swami, but
Huh.
it's called laughter yoga.
Wow.
And we have classes here. We have a large Indian community here near Microsoft because I live close to Microsoft,
Mhm.
and they actually teach laughter yoga classes, which is
Wow.
just crazy. Yeah, you just laugh. It's really good for your face. It's good.
Mhm.
I don't know if you've ever heard this, but it takes more muscles to frown than it does to laugh. And a lot of people ask me, when they say that I look 32 and I tell them I'm 51 and they almost fall over, they say, "What are some of the things that you do?" And I said, "Well, smiling is really important because
Yes.
when you frown, it makes your face wrinkle up really
Hmm.
bad."
Hmm.
And have you ever heard of, resting bitch
Yep.
face?
RBF. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so there's
Yep.
women who are walking around and men who I see all the time and they look 20 years older
Oh my gosh.
than they are or that they should look
Yeah.
because they're walking around with this mopey horrible
Yeah.
look on their face. I can't even frown. Like I don't even know how because I am such a happy glassful positive person that
Yes.
frowning, I'd have to have something really sad happen to me, like my kid is really sick or something, to get me to frown. And then
Yeah.
I don't even know what that looks like. But
That's
it's
awesome.
really, really bad for your face, for
Mm.
aging your face rapidly.
Wow.
So,
Well, and it's true that the physiology that we have determines how we feel as well. So if we're smiling, like even if we're not super happy, even just smiling makes
yeah,
us feel better. And if
right.
we don't even recognize the frown that some people might have just naturally because they've been conditioned, they don't realize it, whatever, gravity, I don't care, that could actually be having them feel worse without them
Yeah.
even realizing it.
Yeah, it'll make depression system. If you're somebody who suffers from anxiety or depression and you're frowning, that's going to actually make it even more exacerbated. Definitely,
Okay.
definitely. And if you're sick, it's going to make you feel more crummy.
Mm.
In fact, they've shown laughter's the best medicine. There was that movie with Robin Williams about Patch Adams.
Mm.
The
Yes.
clown who would go into the hot. He healed so many people. I mean, the guy's still alive, Patch Adams. He's an amazing doctor, and he's still making people laugh in the hospitals,
Mm.
and his patients laugh every day. And
That's
laughter is
awesome.
just so healing. If you have any kind of a physical problem, all you can do is just, even if you force yourself to laugh at least once a day, you're going to get just a little bit more healing each time you do that.
Yes, yes, and
So
also I believe if you talking about physiological things, because I think that's really important that we understand the mechanics of our body that cause how we feel, and especially reducing stress. I believe if you look up in the sky, you are more likely to feel good and positive versus if you look down and you hang your head, then you're more likely to feel less positive. Would you agree with that?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so, I'm going to share a little story with you since you mentioned that.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is kind of a fun story, but I had a really low self-esteem as a child. I was bullied starting at the age, I never felt like I fit in because I have all these unique gifts and talents, and then I'm off the chart smart. I had above a normal adult IQ at the age of 10. I was tested by Mensa. I actually qualified for Mensa at age 10, And because of that, I was bullied and picked on from the age of like preschool all the way through high school. And I would walk around with my head hanging low like this, just looking at the ground everywhere I would go. And I had no confidence, no self-esteem, none of it. And then I got into college and it all changed for me because I made friends and I wasn't bullied anymore. And my confidence got better and better and better. And then when I got into careers and I started accomplishing things in my life and doing what my mother said was put your mind after things and achieve things, that just increases your confidence level every time you do. But if you walk around with your head hanging low all the time, not only are you messing up your joints in your neck, your neck vertebrae, and going to wind up in the chiropractor, but it doesn't help your situation. It just actually makes it worse and worse. All of these physical things all play in. It's all a big domino effect. So, and part of manifesting is assuming that you have and you are what you want to be, right? The whole manifesting thing. So for example, if you want to manifest that you're a wealthy person, acting as if though you were already wealthy, holding your head high and confident and proud. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, then darn it, you better hold your head up high, because if you walk around moping with your head dragging, not only are you not going to be a successful entrepreneur ever, but people are going to know that you're not successful and believe and think that you're not successful, because people who walk with their head held high and their chest high and have that presence about them, they exude confidence and success to the general population. But if you're somebody who is looking and acting really introverted and shy and low self-esteem and low confidence, then what will happen is people around you will perceive that, and you will aspire to that. That's all you will aspire to, is that level. So.
Awesome. So we're getting towards the tail end of this, and I want to know, what are the final thoughts that we need to know about stress reduction, about making sure we're owning our birthright of happiness and just being our greatest possible self?
Well, the best thing that I can leave you off with, time is it 5? Oh, holy cow, we only have a few minutes. Okay.
We're rocking
So,
it.
yeah. So the most important thing, and I'm going to kind of go over this again, the steps
Okay.
to success are taking care of you first, okay? Putting yourself first, taking care of your body every day, making sure you're eating meals and snacks between meals and your energy is up. More frequent meals will keep, your energy up throughout the day. That's really important. Exercising every day, it reduces stress and it makes you live longer. I mean, I can't even push enough the importance of exercising. They've already pretty much said that the longer you sit, the quicker you die. I mean, it's been proven through scientific studies and everything. So get up and move every day, take care of your body, eat well, get rid of the toxins and get rid of the toxic thinking. Start focusing on the positive, do the mindfulness, have fun every day. And one that I'm going to throw in now, here's a new one I'm going to throw in, and that is you need to learn how to free up your time to have that fun. Because what happened is, years ago when I started coaching people, they would complain, I don't have time to do what you're teaching me. I don't have time to, follow through. I would meet back with clients a month later who I gave a total plan to, and I'd say, how's it going? And they'd say, oh, I filed it away. And I'll say, well, why did you file away and this was back when I was a marketing consultant. They said, oh, I filed away my marketing plan because I didn't have any time. Well, so guess what I did, Chris?
What did you do?
I created the only spiritual and emotional time management program in the world, because here's the truth of the matter is, there are thousands of time management programs out there on the planet, but they're just teaching you all of the organizing and the minimizing and the simplification and all of what we call the analytical left brain parts of time management, but they're not talking about the right brain creative part, which is your spiritual and emotional relationship with your time. So if you want to learn how to free up your time, that's one of the things that I created, is a quantum time management program. And I do that with every client I work with, unless they're just an expert that I know that they're going to do whatever I tell them to do and follow through with it. Because if you don't free up your time to go have a beer with your friend, to exercise, to eat, My husband is a great bad example of this. He won't listen to my direction because I'm his wife. So he won't listen to me, even though I'm an expert. And so he comes home and he is exhausted and hungry. And when I ask him why, he says, I didn't have time to eat anything. And I said, no, that's actually a lie. You have all the time in the world to do what is important.
Wow.
And I said, you need to make time and put yourself first. I said, honey, I understand that you have a busy day and you go from meeting to meeting to meeting. But at the end of the week, if you have a stroke and you die, or you have a heart attack and die, those meetings will still go on without you. So the same with you and your business. If you're, he works in corporate and he manages 4 departments of people, and he's totally overwhelmed, but there is no excuse, Chris, no excuse. Talking about accountability and follow through, the biggest pointer I can give to you is put you first. If you're on an airplane and you have a toddler sitting next to you, they're going to make you put oxygen on you before you put it on your toddler, because you're going to pass out first because you're bigger. What happens to your toddler? Nobody's going to take care of them. They're all too busy in their self-centered little world. Your toddler is going to drop dead, and that's not going to be too happy. So here you are passed out, you have a dead kid, and all because you didn't put yourself first. And this is where I get into really serious mode on people, because I can go pretty Dr. Phil on people. I'm very Mother Teresa and also kind of funny most of the time, but when it comes to accountability, I am Dr. Phil. You need to take care of yourself. You need to eat frequent meals. You need to put yourself first. It is so important. You need to have downtime every day where your brain can just quiet down and calm down, and where you can get grounded to planet Earth, because we're all out here floating around in outer space with our thoughts and our ideas and our worries and fears and all of these things. You need to pull yourself back down to the earth by practicing meditation or yoga or some sort of mind-body technique.
Yes.
It is so important to do this. And take care of yourself first. Put yourself on your calendar and learn how to find the time to do that. If you learn time management through me or somebody else, I don't really care. It's not important, but you need to learn how to find the time to do all these things that are going to keep you alive, happy, and healthy the rest of your life. It's important.
Wow. And so how do people take this next step with you? How do they stay connected with you, Kimberly?
So the best way to do it is actually right now I am offering a special deal on consultations for 70, I think it's like 70% off of a first-time consult. They can get that on my website at kimpalm.com. And if they go there, they can see a little thing that says consultation, or you can go to kimpalm.com/consult. And then you can fill out the consultation form and get your first consultation and evaluation, where we find out what are all your issues you're dealing with? Why aren't you happy? Why aren't you healthy? Why aren't you successful? Why aren't you making money? We look at these things, and what I do is I teach you all of the easy to implement right now this second. I mean, literally right now this second, all of the easy to implement things that you can do to become happy, to become healthy, to have great relationships. Maybe you have sexual dysfunction. I don't care what it is. Maybe you have cancer. Maybe you have undiagnosed illnesses. I can help you with that. I can get to the root cause of why you don't have whatever it is you want to have, and then I can teach you what it takes to heal that. So kimpalm.com, I've got a contact form on there, a consult form. Just get a hold of me, and make sure you mention Chris Burns, and you will get a special deal on your consulting.
Sweet. Awesome. Kimberly, you are a superstar. I loved all this information. I know people out there found it valuable. Nick Hendricks says, thanks for the great thoughts, Kimberly Palm. So you have fans, you have people who are loving this information. So keep spreading it, keep empowering people. And thank you so much for taking time to be on the show and give back to people and empower other people and spread great ideas. That's really how we leave this world better than when we found it. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Namaste, and thank you. I am so grateful for this time.
Yes, and I look forward to many more.
Same here.
Yes.
Getting forward to knowing you better, Chris.
Absolutely, Kimberly. Well, we are definitely growing this relationship. It's just the beginning. And back on the show sometime in the future, and we will talk soon,
Sure.
Okay?
Anytime. I'm happy to do it.
Awesome. You have the best day ever. Take care.
You too. Thanks.